Okay, topic for today, straight line graphs. So get the heading lesson objective down. When you're ready, we shall have a look at straight line graphs then. Okay, so we got our straight line there. Now I know you remember everything you did on straight line graphs from GCSE. Equation of a straight line. Yep, it's in the title, so y equals mx plus c. Whoops. Y equals mx plus c. You remember what c is? It's where it crosses the y-axis, so that's the y-intercept. M is the gradient. In order to find the gradient, you can take any 2 points on the line, and I used to teach it as the rise over the run. So the gradient equals the rise over the run, or the change in y divided by the change in x. So if we just join our 2 points here, this is our point 1. So the x value, call it x1, and the y value y1. So those are our coordinates of this point here. Coordinates of this point, we'll call it x2 and y2. It's 2 there. So those are our coordinates of the 2 points. Now, I used to teach this as the gradient. M is equal to the rise divided by the run, or the change in y divided by the change in x. So here, if we put it in terms of the coordinates, the rise here is going to be equal to y2 minus y1, and the run is going to be equal to the difference from here to here, so it'd be x2 minus x1. And so our gradient m is given by the rise, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, and that's our gradient. So if you want to make some notes, I think a sketch of the graph is quite important. So hit pause, make some notes. When you're ready, hit play again. So let's have a look at this example here. Calculate the gradient of the line which passes through the points -2, 7 and 4, 5. Now I like to sketch. I always like to sketch just to have a look and see sort of approximately where these points are. So I'm going to do a quick graph here, x and y. Just a quick sketch. So this is -2, 7. So -2 up 7, say somewhere about there-ish. And the second point is going to be 4 across and 5 up, say somewhere there like that. So it sort of looks, oops, like that. I'll move that point there. Okay, so those are my 2 points. I know I'm looking for my gradient there. Now I know my gradient m is equal to y2 minus y1, change in y divided by the change in x. Now it doesn't matter which coordinates I use. Okay, if we use this as coordinates 1 and coordinate 2. So if we do 2 minus 1, so y first, 5 minus 7 divided by 4 minus 2. So be careful, 4 minus 2. That gives us then -2 divided by 4 minus 2 is 4, add 2, so it'd be 6. So we've got -1/3. That's an example for you. Copy it down and we'll have a look at another one. So hit pause. When you're ready, hit play again. Example, we've got the line joining 2 coordinates. 2 minus 5 to 4a has a gradient of -1, so they give us the gradient and they want us to find the value of a. Now, like we say, it doesn't matter which one you put as 1. We call this coordinate 1 and this one is coordinate 2. Doesn't matter which way around you do it. We know our formula for gradient. M is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now I can write this way around, or I could write it as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals m. Either way, whichever is more comfortable. I feel this way would be easier since we're trying to find a. And so we've got y2 minus y1, so it's going to be a minus minus 5, minus 5, be careful of negatives, divided by x2, so these are second coordinates, so it'd be 4 minus 2, is equal to m, which they tell us is minus 1. So that means that a plus 5 divided by 2 is equal to minus 1. So the 2 is divided on that side, so it becomes multiply on this side. So a plus 5 is equal to minus 2. So a is going to be equal to minus 2 minus 5, which gives us a equals minus 7. So we found our value of a as minus 7. Good. Hit pause, make some notes. When you're ready to move on, hit play again. Okay, so when we want to write the equation of a straight line, we can write it as we introduced it earlier on. We can say y is equal to mx plus c, but we can also write it in a more general form. We can write it as ax plus by plus c equals 0. Whichever form of this you're given in the exam, you need to be able to find the y-intercept and the gradient. Now that's easy enough if you're given y equals mx plus c, because there we have the y-intercept and m is our gradient. So if we're given it in the general form ax plus by plus c, then we need to be able to rearrange it in order to form y equals mx plus c. Okay, good. So make some notes and we'll have a look at a couple of examples then. So hit pause when you're ready to have a look at the examples with me. Hit play again. Okay, so let's have a look at two examples. In the first one, y equals minus 3x plus 2, and they want us to write down the gradient and the y-intercept. So looking at the first one, straight away, we can write down that the gradient is equal to minus 3. And the y-intercept the coordinates for the y-intercept, well, the x value is 0 and it crosses the y-axis at 2. So that's all we have to do in that first question. This second question, B, is a little bit more involved. Now we need to rewrite this equation 4x minus 2y plus 5 equals 0 in the form of y equals mx plus c, and then we can read off the gradient and the y-intercept. So in the first instance, I'm going to move my minus 2y over to the right hand side. So 4x plus 5 is going to be equal to 2y, because then it's positive. Okay, change side, change sign. Now I'm just going to rewrite this as 2y. 2y is equal to 4x plus 5, which means that y is going to be equal to 4x over 2 plus 5 over 2, which is equal to 2x plus 5 over 2. So I can read off from that the gradient. That's going to be equal to 2. And the y-intercept is equal to, well, its coordinates, if I just put this as brackets here, it's going to be 0 and 5 over 2, which is where it intercepts the y-axis. Good. Make some notes. We'll have a look at a couple more examples then. Okay, two more examples. This time we are told to write it in the form of, in general form, ax plus by plus c equals 0. So we want to put, get all our terms on the one hand side. With this one, to keep my x positive, I'm going to take my y over to the other side, so it's going to change sign. So that leaves me with 0 is equal to 4x minus y plus 3. Or I could rewrite that as 4x minus y plus 3 equals 0. That's job done. So that's nice and straightforward in general form. Here, I'm going to bring everything over to the left hand side of the equal sign. Okay, that gives me a positive x term. So that leaves me with half x plus y minus 5 is equal to 0. Now, I've got a half x, but I want to have an integer term, no fractions. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2, which gives us x plus 2y minus 10 is equal to 0. And I have my general form. Okay, good. Hit pause, make some notes. When you're ready, hit play again. Right, let's have a look at this example, final example. The line y equals 4x plus 8 crosses the x-axis at P. Work out the coordinates of P. Now if it crosses the x-axis, let's have a look at my x-axis here and y. So it's going to cross my x-axis somewhere along here. And anywhere along here, the value of y is going to be 0. So I can set this equation equal to 0. So that means I've got... now our equation is y equals 4x plus 8. If y equals 0, I can write that as 4x plus 8 is equal to 0. So 4x is going to be equal to minus 8, because I've taken the positive 8 across the equal sign, so change the sign. And dividing through by 4, I get x is equal to minus 8 divided by 4, which is minus 2. So x is equal to minus 2, and we know that y is equal to 0. So our coordinates for P are given by minus 2, 0. Okay, so that's our final example, and I know you're itching to get on with some work now. So hit pause, make some notes, and you can get stuck into the worksheet, which I'll show you next. Well, you lucky people, you get to do exercise 5A. I would suggest working down the left hand side of the page and then working through these questions here. It won't take you very long at all. And in addition, you get to work through 5B. Again, I'd suggest working down the left hand side of the page. However, if you struggle at any point, then you can do additional questions. And it finishes off down this side here. So 5A and 5B, and I'll attach them. So off you go. Enjoy.